I'm LaDonna Lockard, and this is Max Convos. I'm back again today with Jeana Lanktree. Jeana, I'll say it again. You are one of the most brilliant minds in this industry. We are so lucky that you would take your time to join me here again. When you were on last week, you so kindly went through what people can do to help prepare their clients, their colleagues, their friends for natural disasters, specifically related to what maybe they may need for insurance for their lender. I know that we talked about what to do beforehand. Let's go ahead. I want to hear what people should be doing after the fact. Once the emergency has happened, what do they do? Where do they turn?
Well, thank you for that intro. And we're in recovery phase, right? So after a natural disaster, it's at some point they have to start recovering. And depending on if you coach them well in the beginning and they got through the disaster itself, they're going to be determining if they want to rebuild, if they want to repair, or if they want to relocate. Either way, whatever they decide, you want to make sure that through the disaster, you've protected their credit as much as you possibly can and guided them through that. And then it's time to start looking at options, right? So you can look at programs, different options, depending on which lender they have. There's government options, there's conventional options, but all of that, they have some disaster recovery available. So you can look into that. There's, FEMA grants, which are interesting, not just your FEMA payout, but there's an actual grant program for them to reestablish. What I found out really interesting was the SBA has an emergency fund to recover, and they will pay for a certain amount of money depending on the disaster so that you can reestablish your household goods and, rebuilding your home. So that was very interesting. You do not have to be a business owner to qualify for that either. So that's an interesting little perk there. And then you want to make sure that as you protected their credit, it's time to go back into a loan. Us as lenders, this is all about being prepared. And so you got to be prepared. There's going to be some overlays that could potentially come to some specific lenders, depending on what servicers, depending on what the agencies decide. So just be prepared. If you're working with a particular group of lenders consistently, reach out to them. Say, hey, I lend in a particular area. There's been some natural disaster there. We're going to start the rebuilding process. We're going to start getting them into a new home. What are some of your overlays so that your client doesn't get a last minute surprise that they've already gone through a hard time? You want to make sure that loan process is smooth as possible. So just get
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you say reaching out to your lender and seeing kind of what their specific programs are, or what they may offer, would you recommend that as an MLO? Is that something that your broker should be handling? What do you think is kind of the best course of action in this?
Well, I think it's twofold. I think we always have to be responsible for ourselves, right? We can't depend on somebody else to feed us the information. We got to be hunters and gatherers. We got to go look for ourselves if you want to stand out. If you're going to sit back and wait for somebody else to give you the information, it's likely not going to come and you're going to have some disappointment. There are some amazing, great brokers out there that just get ahead of it, and the lenders themselves that go in, they do their diligence, and they really forward market and they forward share information. And to those people, you're advantaged to be a part of that, but not everybody gets that. So I think it is an individual responsibility first. And then it has to be, as a lender or broker, you want to be ahead of that and share these things with your team so that your loan officers and your originators come across as experts and they come across as professionals in the industry, and they're not finding out about all this, after it's too late or when they can't really benefit from it.
Fantastic. That is perfect. And it does provide one more touch point. And like you said, help to differentiate yourself, become an expert in your field. This is something that is becoming more and more rampant. I mean, as much as we might not love to say it, it's true. And the facts are the facts. It is becoming more and more part of people's lives. And it's a really heartbreaking thing that's affecting so many people. So I think your information is perfect. It is timely. It is so relevant to what so many are going through right now. So Thank you again for being willing to address this with us. And I cannot wait to have you back because you are such a wealth of information. We are going to pick that brain as much as possible. We are not even scratching the surface on what you have to offer. So I cannot wait to have you back again. Thank you so much again for being here. And for Max Convos, I'm LaDonna Lockard.
For more on these and all of today's top stories, go to nationalmortgageprofessional.com.